Another thing that I like about this laundromat, you can charge. You can charge your shit, right? If you have a power bank that you need to charge, you can charge it. If you have phones, you can charge it. Okay? Speaking of power banks, I got my power bank today. Yes, got my power bank today. Well, yesterday I got my power bank. And because I got my power bank that's also solar enabled, right? I'm not going to send back my solar panel, right? You know, I bought a solar panel that I thought I was getting a small, power bank and a solar panel together. Well, I'm not going to send it back if I could utilize it. I went ahead and bought another power bank that I can do both electrical outlet, and that's also solar panel enable. So I'm going to keep that. So now I have a solar panel. I have a little small generator. I'm going to have to do some tests, right? The test that I'm going to have to do is see how long it takes, to to power up using the sun and the solar panel. The generator, it came with over half full battery, so I might see, how far, the half a battery goes. I might charge it up and then see how long, the battery lasts, how many different, items that I can put on it, stuff like that, right? And I can conduct, fairly simple tests, right? I could do a test where, like last night, I slept with the fan on all night, okay? I could see, if I could sleep with the fan on all night using the generator instead of using my house electricity. There are different tests that I want to do before, I actually get out, into the wilderness. Okay. Now, to be honest, it was on my mind to get out into the wilderness and, yeah, but these clouds and the threat of rain and the lower temperatures said, you ain't ready, girl. You are not ready, okay? And I'm not for cold weather, not for wet weather, right? The whole, getting outside, and finding, a park or something like that, was not meant to be a part of the survival journey. Not like that, no. It was supposed to be a part of the retirement, simulation. Okay. Yeah. So I decided, to go with one load, right? When I go with one load and I keep the whites and the colors together, because neither one of them are really big enough to support paying for a complete wash by itself. I have to just accept the fact that, my whites are not going to be bright white, but they are going to be clean. That's what I know. Now, other people, they could say, if it ain't white, then it ain't clean. Oh, well, suit yourself. right? But I know, you know, a lot of times in order to make your whites bright white, you have to wash them in extra hot water, and bleach, and you can't have no other colors fading into the water, right? And I had a jacket that I have found in the Infinity. So it had been sitting in the Infinity for years, right? If not, if at a minimum, at least a year in the Infinity, over a year, right? Because the Infinity had been sitting in my driveway for a year and a half. God damn it! It's a whisker right there, right? I know y'all can't see it. I ain't gonna let you see it anyway. Yeah. So, I had some items that, are not all white, but they have white in them, right? Like that jacket, right? And I found it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was my favorite jacket, because it was like in between a windbreaker and in between a lightweight jacket that I could wear in the summertime, right? It could stop the wind, and then it could stop the rain, the wetness, but it also had ventilation and stuff, because some windbreakers and some rain jackets, they don't offer ventilation. So you end up, I end up overheated, because, my body is always hot. If you're a generator, you have the tendency to have, a hot body, because most generators, they have a hot body. Most generators, even if they have fat, right, their fat is fluid. It's like oil. Am I making sense? Yeah. So I don't know, it made me think about I went ahead and decided to get, at least a small thing of extra virgin olive oil. This one only cost $4, and it is 16.9 fluid ounces for $4. I don't think that's bad. Otherwise, if I thought it was bad, I wouldn't have bought it. Okay, I wouldn't have bought it. And like I said, I think I only have one more packet of this tea, right? And I'm telling you guys that even though I enjoy drinking coffee, right, I add tea bags into my coffee pot and blend the tea into my coffee, so that my coffee has medicinal purposes infused into it, right? Such as the turmeric and the ginger, the chamomile, and the echinacea. I put that in my coffee pot, and then when the coffee drips down, I let this soak into it. I also have, some tea bags that are detox tea bags, some senna tea bags, which is very important. Like, say you're on a weight loss journey and you're eating a lot of high protein foods, you have to realize that over time, it's going to mess with your digestive system, right? So, especially if you're aging. If you're aging, your digestive system is already being messed with, even if you never changed your diet. Say you keep eating the same thing every day, year after year after year, thinking that, you know, everything's going to be the same. Oh my God. I just watched a digital transformation of a menu. And yeah, that makes things so easy when you have to update your specials and your pricing to have a digital screen. I just seen it because I'm sitting up here and I'm right behind KFC, right? And the screen went blank, and then they put up the new menu. The world we live in is so awesome. It is so awesome. Right? I mean, if I was one of those boomers that really resented, you know, this technology and stuff like that, then I would feel like, oh, this is horrible, you know, yay. And of course, it's going to probably be somebody that instilled that same type of philosophy unbeknownst to them, and those people are going to be horrible. They're going to be tyrants. You know, they're going to start programming AI to, you know, to take out, you know, to take out Superman. Right? And yeah. How would that happen? Set him up. Set up Superman to be a tyrant, to be out here killing folks, and Superman never killed nobody, but they got it on video. Because we like Superman too. I know, was it my last video? One of my last videos, I said, you know, I do love Batman. I do, right? He's dark. But we also need Superman. Superman is for the people of the light, right? Superman is for the single-minded egos, right? Batman is for the complex, dark, plural-minded egos. It makes sense to me. I hope it makes sense to you, right? Because not one shoe fits all. Yeah. So let me open this up. I still got about 5 minutes to go before I have to go in and pick up my clothes from the dryer. I was lazy around the house, you know. Didn't even want to get out and get some milk. Ran out of milk, used the last of my milk in my iced coffee, because my first cup of coffee was ice, right? Ice, baby, right? And then my second one happened to be warm. That was after I went outside, because normally when I go outside, I went outside to go bring up the trash, right? The trash can from the curb. And the trash man hadn't even showed up, and it was after 3. Like, what the hell? Because normally the trash man comes early. It comes earlier than the bulk trash. The bulk trash was picked up before the actual trash is picked up. And so I was like, okay, no problem, you know. I added some more trash to the trash can. And then watered a few of my plants. I showed you my plants. And because, you know, I've been sitting in the house looking at the sky saying, can you please rain? Rain. Get on with the rain so I wouldn't have to water my plants. Because, you know, we've been suffering high temperatures for a while now. The plants definitely need watering because they bloomed. Yeah, if they hadn't have bloomed, you know, it would be cool. It'd be like, yeah, you know, it don't have to rain. It don't have to rain yet. You know, we can wait till it blooms, and then you can rain, right? You can wait till the grass starts turning greener, and then it can rain, right? So when it rains, I'm gonna put out some weed and feed onto the lawn. Okay, but I'm gonna wait till it rains. That way I utilize, the ground already being wet naturally by, the rain. Ooh, they put a lot of tape on this stuff, and they have to. They have to put a lot of tape on this stuff, because if they make it easy to get into, you best believe people will get into this stuff and won't pay for it. They'll get into it, put it in their pocket, and that'll be the end of that. Damn, I just broke a nail. Let me get my knife. I don't know why I was, wrestling with this shit in the first place. Could make my life easier. Okay. Oh, this is so cute. Look at this. This is so cute. I wonder if I have another lighter. I think I have one in the back. I'm pretty sure I have one in the back. But in the Infinity, I had one in the hold up, wait a minute. What is this? Oh, Barney went into my glove compartment and found the remote to my CD player up there. Here it is. It probably needs batteries. But I was hoping that there was another one of these cigarette lighter thingamajigs. Because, normally it seemed like they would have one in the front and the back. There's two up here in the front. There's one down here and there's one up here. But yeah, this is the C2C, right? And the C2C is like a fast charger, right? When a C2C. This is long too. So yeah. I am not seeing a spot where the back seat can have an outlet, and there's not an extra outlet on this console or in this console. But that's not a problem. Oh my gosh. And if you hadn't seen these, this tastes better than Quest. Now, I love Quest. Quest was good, right? Let me tell you how I rate my protein bars. Built, right? Built Puffs, I rank those first, but they're expensive. This one I rank first because it is inexpensive. Well, it's inexpensive It's just a little bit less protein, but they make sure they give you some fiber. And it tastes good. It tastes like a regular candy bar, right? And it's called Fit Crunch. I know it's backwards, but it's called Fit Crunch. This is the best for the price, for the nutrition that you get, for the money, right? Built cost more, but the taste is phenomenal, right? And you get an equivalent nutrients to this one. Okay. Quest was like the first one that came out with the good flavored protein bars, right? The good protein chips, cookies, Pop-Tarts, and everybody else came out later. And I was doing my own experiment at the house, seeing,